We're going to look at the 10 scarcest comic books among Overstreet's top 50 Silver Age books. Does Hulk 1 or any other Marvel key crack this list? At number 10, we have Showcase number 8, which is the second appearance of Silver Age Flash, where the mighty superhero is humbled by an index finger. According to CGC Census, this book has 308 copies. With 290 copies, the ninth book is Brave and the Bold number 25, the first appearance of the Suicide Squad, a rather subdued cover given what they would later become. At number 8 is Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane number 1 with 275 copies. She debuts in her own comic, flying a broom and dressing like a hobo. At number 7 is Showcase number 14 with 258 copies. This is another early appearance of The Flash. And by the way, what's with DC stuffing all these dudes into glass containers? See Showcase number 34. At number 6 is Showcase number 9 with 229 copies. They call this the Lois Lane tryout issue. Apparently she's successful, as we saw with her number 1 issue just a couple books ago. To boot, she's got to raise this obnoxious child virtually single-handedly. Superman is out there boozing it up with his buddies on bowling night. Lois, I wouldn't blame you if you sprinkled a little kryptonite into your son's cereal. Gotta slow him down somehow. On the other hand, Lois, in all seriousness, I'd like to speed up this channel, so please consider giving this channel a like. Now we're at the midway point of our top 10. Is Hulk 1 going to show up? Let me disabuse you of that notion. None of the Marvel keys make the top 10. In fact, at the very tail of this list is a who's who of Marvel keys. X-Men number 1 and Daredevil 1 are the most prevalent, each with over 5,500 copies on Census. Avengers 1, Avengers 4, and Amazing Spider-Man number 1 aren't that far behind. Amazing Fantasy comes in with approximately 3,600 copies. Hulk 1 is a little closer to the middle of the pack at 36 with just under 2,000. The rarest big Marvel key is Tales to Astonish number 27, which is the first appearance of Ant-Man. It falls right in the middle of the pack. It has just under 1,200 copies. Regardless of publisher, if you're looking at a big key, the rarest is Showcase number 4, which is the first appearance of Silver Age Flash. It comes in at number 16 and only has 549 copies on Census. I don't mean to come across as being disrespectful to the major Marvel Silver Age keys. In fact, I have quite a few positive points about how many books are on Census, and I'll circle back to that in just a moment. But for now, let's get back to the scarcest Silver Age books. At number 5, we have Showcase 13 with 228 copies. It is the third appearance of Silver Age Flash. At number 4, we have the final Showcase book on the list. This time is Showcase number 6, and it's the first appearance of Challengers of the Unknown. By the way, let's hear it for Showcase. They've got so many books that are both scarce and valuable. You better hunker down for number 3 and number 2. We're talking about Our Army at War number 83 and number 81. 83 is considered to be the true first appearance of Sergeant Rock, and 81 is considered to be a prototype of Sergeant Rock. In a previous video talking about Golden Age comic books, I said the cutoff for truly being rare is about 200 copies or fewer, and both of these Silver Age books fall under 200 copies. So congratulations to you, Silver Age books. The number 1 scarcest Silver Age book is truly associated with a lot of money because it's Richie Rich number 1. It only has 168 copies and is actually scarcer than quite a few major Golden Age books like Batman Comics number 1 and All-Star Comics number 8. Way to go, Richie Rich. Okay, let's swing back to these Silver Age keys. You heard me busting up on them about how they're not rare or even scarce relative to other Silver Age books. Nevertheless, I have 3 points in their defense. The list I'm drawing from, the top 50 from Overstreet, is biased towards the books from the late 50s and the early 1960s. In fact, there's not a single comic from the Silver Age from 1965 through 1970. The reason I mention that is books from this latter part of the 1960s become much more prevalent. For example, Fantastic Four number 48, the first appearance of Silver Surfer, has over 8,500 copies on Census, and that's compared to, say, Hulk 1 that only has 2,000. Further, if you were to compare Hulk 1 or other Marvel Age keys compared to major books published from 1970 and beyond, so bronze, copper, and modern, it's much rare. And that brings me to the second point. Hulk 1 is rare in high grade. In fact, there are only 20 copies graded at a 9.0 or higher. And the highest graded copy, a single copy, is at a 9.4. Let's contrast that with a modern book like New Mutants 98 that has over 2,000 copies at 9.8. You can see how much harder it is to get a Hulk 1 in high grade. And that brings me to the third point. Maybe it's not such a bad thing that Hulk 1 has almost 2,000 copies. I've heard some Golden Age collectors and dealers say sometimes Golden Age books are just too rare, out of sight, out of mind. And when a copy of any book in any grade only sells once a year or once every 2 years, it's so hard to know how to price it. Perhaps the Marvel Silver Age keys are Goldilocks scarce, and Hulk 1 has enough copies out there where they sell fairly frequently, and you can get comps in the past month or at least in the past year for most of the grades. But it's scarce enough where there's far, far more demand than there is supply. Now, if you want to see some truly rare books, check out this video. I post the top 10 rarest Golden Age books. Many of them are 100 times rarer than the Silver Age keys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Consider subscribing and hope to see you around real soon.